Alright, hello everyone. Ang lecture natin ngayon pang IO Psychology. Shout out sa mga students ko dyan this term na nag-IO Psychology under my class, no? So anyway, ang topic natin ngayon is on employee satisfaction. In some textbooks, job satisfaction, pareho lang. According to the APA, punta ka sa online dictionary nila, job satisfaction means this. Important words are in red. The degree to which an employee like or dislike the work itself. Gaano ka nag-e-enjoy, gaano ka fun-filled, gaano ka fulfilled ang isang empleyado sa paggagawa ng isang trabaho. So yun yung ibig sabihin ng job satisfaction. As you notice, it is a very positive variable in IO psychology. Kaya, if you are an IO psychologist, ito yung isa sa mga i-check mo sa isang organization kung maayos ba, kung mataas. This should always be high in any organization because the moment na kapag ito bumaba, bad things happen in an organization, no? As later on, I'm going to discuss. So, dapat mataas yan. This is a healthy metric na tinitignan sa isang organization. Sa Tagalog, tatanungin mo lang yung empleyado kung masaya ka ba sa trabaho mo, more or less that will determine the degree of job satisfaction. Gaano ka ba kasaya sa trabaho mo? Yan. Tignan mo yung katabi mo. Tapos tanungin mo siya, masaya ka ba? Yan. Pero whatever the answer to that question, hindi siya job satisfaction, it becomes life satisfaction. Kasi yung tinanong mong masaya ka ba, outside work yun eh. Pero pag tinanong mo yung question na masaya ka ba in the context of work, it becomes job satisfaction. So as I mentioned a while ago, ang job satisfaction pwedeng mataas. At ano ang itsura ng mga empleyado na mataas ang job satisfaction? Let me give you examples. Pwedeng ganyan. Nakasmile sila. Yan yung pinaka-basic unit of satisfaction. You are smiling while doing your job. Sa Tagalog, ginagawa mo ng may ngiti yung trabaho mo, like what you're seeing right now. Pareho silang nakangiti habang nagtitimpla ng signature hot choco at saka ng caramel macchiato. Isama mo na rin yung honey glazed donut. Yan. Masayang-masaya silang ginagawa yan. Although naisip ko lang when I saw this picture, no, example for this guy, hindi pala natin sure kung satisfied ba siya sa job niya or satisfied siya doon sa kasama niya. Kasi nangyayari naman talaga sa tunay na buhay yan, no? Ayaw mo talaga yung nature ng trabaho mo, pero gusto mo yung katrabaho mo. Yan, nangyayari naman talaga yan. IO psychology din yan. So in this case, hindi natin alam kung bakit sila masaya. Masaya ba sila sa pagiging barista or masaya ba sila sa presence ng isa't isa? Huwag na nating problemahin, basta they are satisfied in their jobs. Work from home, masayang-masaya to kasi habang nag-work from home siya, pwede siyang gumawa ng ibang tasks. Yan yung nagpapasaya sa mga empleyado na work from home. No? You can do other tasks other than your job. So, pwede kang magluto ng sinigang habang uma-attend ng meeting. Pwede kang maghiwa ng bawang at sibuyas habang nagpe-present si boss. Diba? So, karamihan ng mga empleyado na ganyan, marami silang gustong gawin other than their job. Masaya, mataas ang job satisfaction sa work from home setup. Kapag gym instructor ka, masaya kang pinapahirapan yung mga clients mo. Hindi dahil sa sadista ka, no? Dahil gusto mo silang maging healthier. Yun. Kapag traffic enforcer ka, masaya ka na hindi nagta-traffic doon sa street that you are handling. So what do they have in common here? Smile. That's the basic unit of job satisfaction. Ginagawa mong may ngiti sa iyong mga labi yung trabaho mo. Nagigets nyo? So that's the sign, indicators that someone has high job satisfaction. Yung kabaliktaran naman, kapag ibaba mo yung meter ng job satisfaction, hindi maganda yan. As I mentioned a while ago, if you are an IO psychologist in the future, nakita mong mababa yung job satisfaction ng isang organization, something is wrong. You need to respond. Dapat may intervention na gagawin. Kasi kapag hindi, low job satisfaction can lead to something as big as this. Nagwewelga yung mga empleyado. And this is not a good thing kasi kapag nagwelga yung mga empleyado, nag-strike sila, stop ang operation. Pag stop ang operation, walang kikitain yung organization, magsasara yung organization, malulugi. Diba? And what is one of the common reasons kung bakit ang mga empleyado mag-i-strike or magwewelga according to research, hindi nabibigay yung mga extrinsic motivators that they are expecting. Kaya isa yan sa dapat chinecheck ng isang IO psychologist doing some IO work, no? Ang organization ba, yung management ba, are they able to give the extrinsic things that the employees are expecting? Kasi the moment na nagkukulang-kulang yan, bumababa ang job satisfaction, if it becomes out of control, sasabog yan into something big as this. It can even go legal. Diba? Kaya isa yan sa mga dapat chinecheck ng isang IO psychologist. Excuse me. Now, in IO psychology, job satisfaction is a variable that we can measure. Pwede natin siyang sukatin by the use of different psychological tests or psychological scales. This is one of the OGs. Isa to sa mga pinakaunang scale on job satisfaction, the generic job satisfaction scale. The following are some of the items. Pause the video if you need to para magkaroon kayo ng grasp kung ano ba yung sinusukat natin when we talk about job satisfaction. So these are the first set of items, second set of items. Sinasagutan yan in a Likert format. 5 the highest, 1 the lowest. You get the overall scores of these items. Yan yung magiging overall job satisfaction of an employee. Now, because we can measure job satisfaction, now we know that job satisfaction positively predicts the following variables. O, rebihin nyo, anong ibig sabihin ng positively predicts? If you're going to run linear regression, if job satisfaction is your predictor, and these are your outcome variables, ano mangyayari? Kapag tumataas ang job satisfaction, masayang-masaya yung mga empleyado sa ginagawa nila, tumataas din yung mga variables na yan. They become more involved with their jobs, gumaganda yung mental health nila, gumaganda yung attendance nila. And in IO psychology, these variables are positive variables. These are very positive metrics of the organizational health. Kapag matataas tong mga variables na to, maganda yung organization. Kailan tumataas yung mga variables na yan? Kapag maganda ang job satisfaction ng mga empleyado. Kaya pa ulit-ulit ko sinasabi, dapat ang job satisfaction mataas yan sa isang organization. Because we can measure job satisfaction, we know that it negatively predicts the following variables: job turnover and job stress. So anong ibig sabihin yan? If this is your predictor variable, ito yung outcome variable. Kapag mababa ang job satisfaction, mababa, hindi sila happy, nakasimangot sila everyday sa office nila, bad trip sila, nagdadabog-dabog, tumataas yung job turnover and job stress. Siyempre, alam niyo na yung stress. Hindi maganda yan in high levels. Nagkakasakit yung mga empleyado. Yung job turnover naman is the degree to which an employee stays in an organization. Sa simpleng Tagalog, gaano kabilis mawala ang isang empleyado in an organization. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng job turnover. And this is one of the negative metric in organizational health. Kapag mataas ang job turnover sa isang organization, you know something is wrong. Kasi ibig sabihin yan, walang nagtatagal na empleyado. Takang-taka yung HR. Kaka-hire lang natin ng secretary last week. Mag-hire na naman tayo this week. Bakit? Umalis na yung secretary after 2 days. Hindi nagtagal sa trabaho. Bakit? Something is wrong. Kaya sa isang organization na mataas ang job turnover, something is wrong. And one of the reasons bakit mataas ang job turnover, mababa kasi yung job satisfaction. Gusto mo yung job turnover, mababa. Anong itsura ng isang organization na mababa ang job turnover? Pili ka ng any employee in an office. Tanungin mo, gaano ka nakatagal nagtatrabaho dito? Ang sagot nila, more than 10 years. Yun. 20 years na, 25 years na, 30 years na. And then you ask them, may plano pa ba kayong lumipat ng organization? Anong sagot nila? Hindi na raw. Doon na raw sila mamamatay sa organization na yun. If you see those things, ibig sabihin, mababa yung job turnover, which means the organization is good. Now, let's connect job motivation with job satisfaction. Remember, I have a lesson about job motivation. Iko-connect natin. Related ba yung motivation sa satisfaction? Or, this is what I'm asking, are motivated employees automatically happy in their work? Porket ba motivated ka sa trabaho mo, ibig sabihin, masaya ka? Does it follow? Ang sagot is, it depends. It's not a very simple question to answer. It depends. It depends on what? It depends on what kind of motivation are we talking about. If you go back to my lesson on job motivation, may dalawang klase yan, may intrinsic, may extrinsic. Between these two forms of motivation, mas nakaka-predict ng job satisfaction yung intrinsic motivation more than extrinsic motivation. There are employees, for example, who are just extrinsically motivated but they are not necessarily satisfied with their jobs. Kaya if you analyze the researches done in these two variables, karamihan ng mga coefficients dito maliit eh. Karamihan ng coefficients between extrinsic motivation to job satisfaction, very low ang relationship. Compared to intrinsic motivation, papuntang job satisfaction, ang tataas sa mga correlation coefficients dyan. Let me give you some examples, no? How an employee is extrinsically motivated but not necessarily happy in their jobs. Ito yung mga empleyado na ang habol lang talaga sweldo. You ask an employee, sabihin mo, gaano ka nakatagal sa work mo? Sasabihin nila 15 years na. Ah, talaga 15 years na? Edi happy ka pala dyan, matagal ka na dyan. Hindi. Araw-araw nga gusto kong mag-resign. Walang araw hindi ko inisip na mag-resign. I cannot wait to get out of here. You see the inconsistency? 15 years na siya doon, pero gustong-gusto na niyang umalis. Bakit? Kasi nga, ito yung framework na nag-a-apply sa kanya. Extrinsically motivated siya, but not necessarily satisfied with the job. Kailangan lang niya talaga kumayod, kailangan lang niya talaga sumweldo. Pero hindi ibig sabihin masaya siya sa ginagawa niya. Meron lang kasi talaga siyang sinusuportahan. Meron siyang pinag-aaral. Meron siyang mga due dates na binabayaran. May kuryente, may tubig, may renta. O umutang pa sa 5-6. Kailangan ng pambayad. Kahit ayaw niya sa trabaho niya, ginagawa na lang niya. Got that? Extrinsically motivated but not necessarily happy. And actually, you can check whether an employee is like that or not, no? Ang magic question natin, ito. Kausapin mo siya. Kung halimbawa, bigyan kita ng bagong trabaho, pero yung sweldo mo, parehas lang. Or sabihin natin, taasan ko ng konti, lilipat ka ba sa bagong trabaho na yon? Most employees who are like this would say, yes. Ang bilis-bilis niyan. Yes, nasaan? Because they are only extrinsically motivated, but they are not necessarily happy with their jobs. Nagigets nyo? So, merong mga ganyang types of employees. Punta naman tayo dito sa framework na to. According to researches, employees who are intrinsically motivated, halos sureball, halos sigurado, they are happy with their jobs. Motivated na, satisfied pa. O, di ba? Kaya yung mga ganyang empleyado, magaganda ang mental health niyan at sila rin yung most likely na magaganda ang performance because it is so easy to be at your best if you feel good about what you do. Amen? O, kaya may mga ganyang empleyado, intrinsically motivated, at the same time, masaya sila sa ginagawa nila. Ito na yung level ni Jesus. Remember, when He was preaching God's word, He was healing the sick. Anong sabi niya? For I have come down from heaven not to do my own will, but to do the will of Him who sent me. These are the words of someone who is so intrinsically motivated, who is so satisfied with what they do. Kaya hindi mag-a-apply kay Jesus yan eh. Tanungin mo siya, Jesus, meron akong kumpanya. Lipat ka na lang sa akin. Huwag mo nang gawin yung ginagawa mo. Tataasan ko yung sweldo mo. Do you think Jesus would take the vacancy? I don't think so. Sasabihin niya, I am happy with what I'm doing. I cannot think of any other thing to do other than this. Yan, magandang linya din yan ng mga ganitong tao. Wala akong maisip na ibang trabaho na gagawin ko hanggang mamatay ako. Yan. Ganyan yung framework na nag-a-apply sa kanila. Same thing with St. Paul. Ka-level ni Jesus yan in terms of intrinsic motivation. 'Di ba sabi ni St. Paul, bakit niya ginagawa yung pagiging missionary niya? Kasi upward call niya yon in Christ Jesus. Yun yung calling niya. Kaya kapag tinanong mo si St. Paul, hanggang kailan mo gagawin yung pagiging missionary mo? Anong sagot niya? Hanggang mamatay na siya. For I am ready not only to be bound but also to die. I want to emphasize on that word, die at Jerusalem. Ikakamatay ko na itong trabaho ko for the name of the Lord Jesus. So, hindi na naman mag-a-apply kay St. Paul yung ganyang offer mo. O, St. Paul, meron akong kumpanya, may job opening. Lipat ka na lang sa akin, mas taasan ko yung sweldo mo dyan. No way. St. Paul is happy with what he's doing. Nagigets nyo? So, yun yung framework where intrinsic motivation is leading to job satisfaction. So in connection to this, no, ang question ko sa mga nanonood ngayon, what is your I would do this work until the day I die? Especially college students listening to this lecture, this is a very important question that you need to answer. Sana i-challenge nyo yung mga sarili nyo before you graduate. Alam nyo na yung sagot sa tanong na yan. Kasi kapag nalaman mo kung ano yung trabaho mo talaga na talagang handa kang mamatay doing that, it makes you intrinsically motivated, leading to job satisfaction. May enjoy mo yung working life mo because you are doing something that you are called to do, that you love to do. Alright? Ako, I'm so blessed na alam ko na yung sagot ko dito, which is teaching. Dati showbiz no? Pero God revealed a lot of things to me, so hindi pala talaga ako para sa showbiz. Akala ko talaga dati, oo, kasi I'm doing a lot of teleseries na, no? A lot of commercials, modeling gigs, pero the Lord opened my eyes. Ito pala, dito talaga ako nararapat sa teaching, no? Anyway, so in summary, these are the two reasons for being happy at work. May mga empleyado, number one, they are just there because of what they get. Ito yung mga extrinsically motivated but not necessarily satisfied in their jobs. May mga empleyado naman, ito yung mas magaganda, for the joy of doing it. They are intrinsically motivated doing their job, leading to them to become satisfied with their jobs. Motivated na, masaya pa sa trabaho. Yan ang pampaganda ng mental health ng isang empleyado. Alright? So let's talk about basic principles of job satisfaction. Paano ba o ano ba yung mga factors na nag-i-increase ng job satisfaction at work, because again, that is so important. Remember, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi kanina, job satisfaction is a very positive I/O variable na kapag mataas yan, good things happen in the workplace. I came across these words by Richard Branson. Ang ganda ng sinabi niya. Sabi niya, clients do not come first. Employees come first. If you take care of your employees, they will take care of the clients. Personally, I agree, with what Richard Branson is saying. Traditional, old-school business schools will not teach this. Ang ituturo ng mga business schools, baliktad. Clients come first. Mamaya na yung mga empleyado mo. Pasayahin mo yung mga customers mo, pag happy sila, tsaka mo rewardan yung mga empleyado mo. Doon mo pakainin sa buffet. Doon ka mamigay ng pera. Doon mo ipadala sa Boracay. After the clients are happy. Mali pala yun, sabi ni Richard Branson. It should be your employees first. Employees first must be happy before the customers. In fact, may journal article na lumabas, na very related sa sinabi ni Richard Branson. In fact, I'm not sure, baka nga nabasa ni Richard Branson to, Ang title, Employee Satisfaction and Customer Satisfaction, Is There a Relationship? At pag binasa mo yung journal article na yan, ang sagot, meron. Very related to what Branson was saying. Kaya nga sabi ko, baka nabasa ni Branson to Kasi yung sinasabi niya dito is very in line with what research has revealed. Like for example, may mga excerpts akong babasahin based on this article. Ang sabi, satisfied employees have high energy and willingness to give good service. Kapag ang isang empleyado masaya sa trabaho niya, ang indicator pala nun is mataas ang energy niya. So idagdag niyo yan sa smiling. Nakasmile na, mataas pa ang energy, highly satisfied. Ano ngayon? Kung mataas yung energy ng empleyado, ang sabi dito, nagkikreate pala yun ng positive perception of the service or product provided by your employee. Halimbawa sa sales. Apply mo na lang to sa sales. Kapag yung isang nagbebenta ng sapatos, for example, in a mall, inassist ka with high energy kasi enjoy na enjoy siya sa pagiging sales lady or sa pagiging salesman. Ang taas ng energy niya. Talagang lahat ng tanong mo, sinagot niya. Lahat ng utos mo, ginawa niya. Tapos sinales talk ka pa niya, binigyan ka niya ng history ng sapatos, binigyan ka pa ng advantages at disadvantages, tapos hinaluan ka pa niya ng konting bola. Alam niyo ma, sobrang bagay talaga yung sapatos na yan sa paa niyo. Oh, di ba? May mga ganyang sales people eh. Ano nangyayari? Minsan kahit ayaw mo yung binibenta niya, bibilin mo na lang din. Kasi naging positive yung tingin mo doon sa sapatos because of the way the product was presented by someone who is so satisfied with his or her work. Kaya maging aral dapat to sa mga tao na nasa sales eh. Na dapat pag nagpe-present kayo ng mga produkto, nagbebenta kayo, ipakita nyo, iparamdam nyo sa binibentahan nyo na masaya kayo sa pagiging salesperson. Another quote from this article ang sabi, satisfied employees have enough emotional resources to show what? Empathy, understanding, respect, and concern. And these are the things that will make a client buy a product. Don't you agree? Ang isang kliyente, ang isang customer na feeling niya, yung nagbebenta sa kanya, binibigyan siya nito. Empathy, understanding, respect, and concern, most likely bibili yan. Very applicable to sa mga nagbebenta ng condo unit. Dapat maramdaman ng kliyente na binebentahan mo siya hindi dahil gusto mo lang makuha yung pera niya. Binebentahan mo siya kasi sincere ka, alam mo, good investment yung binebenta mo sa kanya, given his or her context. Diba? May mga ganyan kasing mga salesperson, no? Yung ramdam mo na gusto lang talaga makuha pera mo. Pero may mga salespeople din na ramdam mo na hindi lang pera yung habol niya, concern siya sa'yo bilang tao. Alam niyang kailangan mo yung kondo na binebenta niya. In conclusion, at the end of this article, ito yung sinabi, how employees feel about their job has an impact on tangible business outcomes such as, very important words, customer satisfaction, sales, and profit. These are the things na bubuhay sa isang organization. Kapag ito bumaba, mababa ang customer satisfaction, mababa ang benta, mababa ang profit, lalagpak yung organization. Paano hindi mangyayari yan? Kapag masaya ang mga empleyadong ginagawa nila yung mga trabaho nila. Because when they're happy in what they do, what happens? They make their customers happy, which is good for the organization. So yan yung mga binasa ko na parts ng article. Given all those things, no? Paano ngayon magpasaya ng empleyado? Ano ba yung mga factors na dapat mangyari? If you read the literature on job satisfaction, marami. And I don't have enough time to discuss everything, so I just limited my discussion here sa 3 factors lang. Kayo na lang bahala magbasa ng iba. Number 1, work environment. Nakaka-contribute pala yan kung yung empleyado magiging masaya sa trabaho. Like what? Ano ba yung mga elements of work environment? Dapat man lang, meron silang option for leaves. May sick leave, may maternity leave, may vacation leave. Ewan ko, totoo ba yun? In some organizations, meron daw break-up leave. Ang bait naman ng boss nun. Flexi time. That's another component of the work environment. Meron silang choice kung ano oras silang papasok. So, pag tinanong mo yung employee, anong oras ka papasok bukas? Anong sagot niya? Depende. Depende kung ano oras ako magising. Diba? Pag meron silang ganong sense of freedom, it contributes to their job satisfaction. May clothing allowance, may parking benefits. This, very interesting, job rotation contributes din pala sa job satisfaction, which is parte ng work environment. Ibig sabihin ng job rotation, ito yung practice wherein ang isang empleyado, may mga times gagawin niya yung trabaho ng mga colleagues niya. Mag-iikot-ikot sila ng mga trabaho. And that is done for 2 reasons. Number 1, for career growth. Para mag-increase yung tinatawag na versatility. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang isa yung kaya mong gawin. Kaya mo rin gawin yung iba't ibang mga trabaho. Number 2, kaya ginagawa yan to break the routine. Because studies show one of the killers of satisfaction is routine. Yung feeling ng empleyado, paulit-ulit na lang yung ginagawa niya, na naiinip siya, bumababa yung satisfaction. Naghahanap ng ibang trabaho. So para ma-break yung routine, iba-iba naman yung ginagawa mo, magpalit-palit kayo ng mga trabaho. Very common ginagawa to sa mga fast food chains. For example, Jollibee, ginagawa yan. Diba kapag crew ka sa Jollibee, minsan nandun ka sa kusina. Ikaw yung taga-timplan ng Chicken Joy. Ikaw yung taga-luto ng French fries. May weeks naman, ikaw yung kahera. Yan. Ikaw yung namumroblema sa mga barya. 'Di ba? Kulang yung barya mo. Hindi mo malaman paano mo susuklian yung customer. May mga times naman, andun ka sa labas ng shop, ng branch. Ikaw yung naglilinis ng salamin sa labas. May mga times naman, ikaw yung tagalinis ng CR. Ito yung mga ayaw eh. Number 1 ayaw ng mga crew. Ikaw yung naka-assign sa CR. Lilinisan mo yun. Using your hands. Pero syempre may gloves naman. 'Di ba? So ginagawa yon again, para masustain yung job satisfaction. Siyempre, nagka-count din dyan yung employee discounts, especially kapag yung pinagtatrabahuhan ng isang empleyado may binibenta. At pag siya yung bumili ng binibenta, binili niya yung produkto ng organization niya, may discount. Like for example, in one school, meron silang tinatawag na employee discount for grad school. Diba? So yung mga empleyado ng school na to, kapag nag-apply sa grad school, sasagutin yung certain amount of the tuition fee. May discount. O, diba? Nakaka-contribute yan sa job satisfaction ng mga nagtatrabaho. Ang number 1 organization daw na talagang magaling, pinakamaganda ang work environment would be Google. Siguro i-YouTube na lang kung ano ba yung mga kung ano ba yung work environment ng Google para malaman nyo kung bakit sila yung number 1. Kung ano yung mga innovations na ginagawa nila to sustain job satisfaction of their employees. As in, very positive yung work environment ng Google. You can just research that on your own. Number 2, another way to sustain job satisfaction at work is to create non-job related happiness. A very important concept in IO psychology, ang tawag dyan, spillover effect. Wherever you are, say this with me. Ready? Spillover effect. Sa Tagalog, natapon. Di ba? Pag spillover, natapon. Meron tayong isang baso dito na puno, natapon. Natapon yung laman nito sa ibang mga baso. Yan yung tinatawag na spillover effect. So, paano to ginagamit to increase job satisfaction in the workplace? This is based on the research done by Judge and Watanabe. Wherein, in their research, ang sabi nila, life satisfaction positively predicts job satisfaction, which means what? Kapag meron silang mga positive emotions na nararanasan outside the work, outside the office, nadadala pala nila yung mga positive emotions na yon papunta sa workplace. Got that? Sabi pa sa article nila, satisfaction with other aspects of life, ibig sabihin outside work, spills over, natatapon nila yung positive emotions na yan doon sa mismong trabaho nila. And this is a very useful concept to sustain job satisfaction in the workplace. Halimbawa, isa sa mga reklamo, isa sa mga factors na pampababa ng job satisfaction is work overload. Ang dami nating researches dyan, work overload. Masyadong maraming ginagawa ang mga empleyado. O, ano ang solusyon sa work overload? Simple, magdagdag ka ng tao. Pero, karamihan ng mga organizations, they don't do that to solve work overload. Bakit? Wala silang budget pang dagdag ng trabaho. Yun lang talaga yung kaya nilang pasweldohin hanggang ganong number of employees lang. Kaya lang, ang disadvantage nun, they cannot hire new employees, mabubugbog sa trabaho to, lulungkot yan. Bababa yung job satisfaction. Kaya ang solution na pwedeng gawin dito is bumawi yung organization sa ibang aspeto ng buhay ng isang empleyado na overload. And there are many ways how to do that. Like for example, fun. So the organization would say to the employee, okay lang yan na marami kang ginagawa. Trabaho mo naman yan eh. Babawi na lang kami sa ibang aspect ng buhay mo, such as fun. So, magkikreate ngayon yung organization ng fun things in the workplace para yung satisfaction na ma-generate dito, madadala nila sa workplace nila. Which will make the workload a little bit more bearable. Diba? So, ano yung mga posibleng activities that will generate fun? Kaya nagkakaroon ng mga outing. Company outing. Yan. Iba yung company outing sa team building, mamaya i-discuss ko yon. Company outing, walang trabaho. Walang agenda tungkol sa work. Talagang lumabas lang kayo as a family and then you just have fun. Outing yon. Yung ibang organizations naman, nag-create ng mga sporting events. Diba? Lalo na kapag yung profile ng employees nila mahihilig sa sports, gumagawa ng paliga. Yung UNTV Cup, this is very interesting, i-research na lang, liga ito ng basketball at ang mga participants dito, mga government employees. So yung iba't ibang departamento ng gobyerno such as AFP, Judiciary, PNP, DENR, bumubuo sila ng mga basketball teams and then they compete against each other. Ito raw yung final game. Kung gusto nyo panoorin, i-YouTube nyo na lang. Naglaban dito yung Department of Agriculture versus SSS. So yung mga participants dito, mga empleyado ng government. At bakit ginagawa yan? Again, going back, to generate positive emotions here na madadala ng mga empleyado pagbalik nila sa mga workplace nila. Kaya tambak man sila sa trabaho, nagiging mas bearable. Kasi bumawi doon sa fun department. Pwede mo rin bawiin sa health. Okay lang na marami kang ginagawa. Alam naman namin napapagod ka. Hayaan mo na. Babawi na lang kami. Yung paggamit mo ng gym, libre. Unlimited. Kahit anong araw mong gusto magbuhat, pwede. Hindi ka namin sisingilin ng gym fee. Diba? Pwede na. That's why in any organization, importante talaga yung health card. Isa yan sa mga hinahanap ng mga empleyado. Pag nagkasakit sila, they're confident na hindi sila maglalabas ng pera. Diba? Hindi sila kakaba-kaba. Kung walang health card, malungkot na nga sila, ang taas na nga ng workload nila, kakaba-kaba pa sila magkasakit. Bababa talaga yung job satisfaction mo dyan. Pwede rin naman sa family. May mga organizations na go-organize sila ng mga events where the sons and daughters of the employees may join these activities. Ang tawag ng ibang organization dyan would be Family Fun Day. Even in the Philippines, maraming organizations who does that, especially during Christmas season. Yan. May mga events yung mga organizations where all family members of employees are welcome to join. Tapos may pa-party, may pa-games, may pa-exchange gifts, so on and so forth. But I really want to emphasize on this one, work relationships. Lalong-lalo na sa Pilipinas, i-connect mo sa psikolohiyang Pilipino, ano ang kultura natin? Highly collectivistic culture. We value relationships a lot, especially in the workplace. In fact, marami yung kakilala, hindi na baling maliit lang daw yung sweldo nila basta maaayos yung mga kasama nila in the workplace. Meron din daw mga kakilala, ang tataasan ng mga sweldo nila. As in, nandoon na sila sa top level, lumipat pa ng organization na mas mababa sila. Bakit? Para lang takasan yung mga negative relationships in the workplace. Binubuli sila pinagchichismisan sila Bilang mga Pilipino, malaking issue talaga kung gusto mo ba yung mga katrabaho mo or hindi. Kaya, anong mga practices yung ginagawa dyan to sustain positive working relationships? May mga organizations, meron silang mga strict policies against gossiping. Bawal mangchismis sa mga katrabaho mo. May mga organizations, bawal magmura. May mga ganyan lalo na kapag minumura mo yung office mates mo. Pinagsasabihan talaga sila, binibigyan sila ng memo if they violate that. Diyan ngayon papasok yung team building na ibang-iba sa outing. Again, yung outing, walang agenda ng work. Ang team building meron. May konting fun, pero may agenda din ng departmental goals. Lakasan natin yung bond ninyo sa isa't isa. Pero pag-usapan din natin saan papunta yung departamento. How is the department doing in terms of its accomplishments? Pinag-uusapan niya sa mga team building para ma-enhance yung relationship part. Nagigets nyo? So kapag sumasaya sila dito, nadadala nila yung satisfaction nila papunta sa mga workplaces nila. And last one, number 3. Ito na yung last, Ensure person job fit. Kung gusto mo maging masaya ang mga empleyado sa isang organization, actually dapat ine-ensure mo na yung job satisfaction even before they enter the organization. Kasi yung previous 2 examples ko, ginagawa mo yon kapag nasa loob na yung mga empleyado. Ito mas maaga pa. Bago pa man sila pumasok in the organization, you can already do something about their job satisfaction. And how do you do that? In terms of recruitment. Sabi nga ni Jack Ma, hindi makita pero si Jack Ma yung speaker dito, hire the right people, not necessarily the best people. Iba pala yung right sa best. Ang isang aplikante, pwedeng siya yung best,
not necessarily the right person for the job. Oo, magaling sa statistics. Oo, ang galing mag-English. Oo, ang dami niyang experience sa isang industry. Pero hindi siya yung tamang tao para sa organization mo. Ano yung breakdown ng steps dyan? Sabi ni Jack Ma, ito. Dapat ganito yung pinapractice mo para magawa mo to. Again, number 3 tayo. How do you ensure person, job fit? You do the 3 steps. Number 1, reviewin mo muna yung vision, mission ng organization. And then number 2, iset mo na yung standard. Iset mo na yung mga characteristics ng mga possible applicants na gustong pumasok sa kumpanya mo. Sino ba yung mga taong gusto nating pumasok in this organization? And then step 3, i-apply mo yung preferred profile mo sa recruitment. So kapag nagja-job interview na, may mga ini-screen na mga papasok sa organization mo, you will make sure that these people are the right people. Sila yung mga tao who are in line, tugma, aligned in your organization's vision and mission. O, bigyan ko kayo ng example. Halimbawa, IO psychologist ka, nilapitan ka ng Nike. Pinapareview sa iyo ng Nike kung yung mga tao ba sa organization nila fit, masaya ba sa mga trabaho nila. That's one thing you can do. Hingin mo muna yung vision statement ng Nike. O tapos, based on the vision statement, i-profile mo yung mga empleyado na dapat ganun yung traits nila para kasya sila, fit sila, bagay sa kanila yung vision ng Nike. 'Di ba? Andito tayo sa step 2. So step 1, review. Step 2, identify mo ano yung mga profile dapat ng mga empleyado given this vision statement, and you would go something like this, 'di ba? Syempre, given the vision statement of Nike, dapat yung mga empleyado diyan kahit papaano mahilig sa sports. Athletic company kayo eh. Inspired, innovative, merong heart for athletes. So yan ngayon yung gagamitin mong metric whether or not you're gonna hire an applicant who is about to enter the organization. Yan yung magiging standard mo. Kapag naabot nila yan during the interview, kunin. Kapag nag-fall short sila dyan, hindi wag mong kunin. Kaya nga, one very good insight here, no, in connection to this, vision must dictate the recruitment standards, not the other way around. Hindi yung nag-recruit ka muna na nag-recruit, tapos nung marami ng tao sa organization mo, tinignan mo yung common characteristic nila, yun yung naging vision ng organization. Mali. The employee should not determine the vision of the organization. Bago pa man may pumasok ng mga empleyado, may vision na kaagad yung organization. So, sino mag-a-adjust? Yung mga tao, hindi yung organization. Does that make sense? So, yan ngayon yung i-check ng isang IO psychologist. Yung mga tao ba sa Nike, ganyan? What's the word for that in IO psychology? Are they aligned with the company vision? Yan ang medyo mahirap gawin pag IO psychologist ka. Kasi kakausapin mo yung mga empleyado dyan eh. O obserbahan mo sila eh. Sisiguraduhin mo na yung mga empleyado na nandyan are aligned with the company vision that they are in. Kapag ang isang empleyado very aligned siya sa company vision, it greatly contributes to job satisfaction. Naalala niyo yung isang item kanina that I presented? This is one of the items. I feel good about working at this company. Oh. Kailan i-scorean to ng mataas ng isang empleyado? Kapag aligned siya. Kasi yung mga practices ng kumpanya, yung mga paniniwala ng kumpanya, agree siya. So, yung empleyado, kapag gumagawa siya ng mga bagay na agree siya, gumagawa siya ng mga bagay na pinaniniwalaan niya, and then the company, and then it's the same with the company, what happens? The company reinforces the person. Di ba ang hirap kasi magtrabaho sa isang company na yung vision niya, iba sa vision mo as a human being. Don't you agree? Halimbawa, as a human being, as a person, you love health. You value health. Kasi naniniwala ka that the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Meron kang supernatural view of the human body. God is dwelling there. There is the Holy Spirit in human bodies. Pero nagtatrabaho ka sa kumpanya ng sigarilyo.
Imaginein mo yun. Ikaw yung taga-balot, ikaw yung taga-counter-check kung okay ba yung pagkakabalot ng sigarilyo. Do you think you're gonna enjoy the things that you're gonna do in that organization? Siyempre hindi. Kasi hindi kayo pareho ng value eh. You value health. Yung kumpanya na pinagtatrabahuan mo, hindi. Kasi nga gumagawa sila ng sigarilyo. Gusto nila unhealthy yung mga tao. Hindi tugma. So habang nagbabulot ka doon ng sigarilyo doon, inis na inis ka sa kumpanya mo, bababa yung job satisfaction mo. Diba? Pambihira naman. Health is wealth nga. Tapos, yung pinapakawalan mong produkto, pampasira ng health. Hindi ka fit. Hindi ka aligned. So, the IO psychologist would recommend to the owner of the organization na baka pwedeng palitan yung tao na yon. Humanap sila ng tao na mas aligned sa company vision. That's another way to increase the job satisfaction of employees. Imagine mo, lahat ng empleyado in an organization aligned. For sure, ang taas ng job satisfaction dyan. Oh, last one, exercise. Ito, mayroon na lang mga open questions, no? Let's pick the vision mission of a school na hindi ko na lang babanggitin kung ano. Ayan, halimbawa, ito yung vision and mission. IO psychologist ka na. By the way, kahit IO psychologist ka, pwede kang magkaroon ng clients na schools, ha? Schools also hire IO psychologist. Oh, ito yung vision and mission ng isang school. So, gusto mong malaman as an IO psychologist kung naka-align ba yung mga faculty members sa vision mission na yan. Kasi syempre, sino bang magpapatupad niyan? Hindi yung mga faculty members. So, given this vision mission of this school, key questions to ask sa mga faculty members are the following. Yung mga faculty members ba sa school na yan are knowledgeable, at the same time, are they practitioners of both faith and scholarship? Kasi yun yung sinasabi dito eh. Ibinibridge yung faith and scholarship. So, dapat maraming alam. Dapat practitioner ng faith and scholarship. Hindi pwedeng faith lang, walang scholarship. Hindi rin pwede scholarship lang, walang faith. Both faith and scholarship. Dapat knowledgeable, dapat practitioners. Number 2, given this vision and mission, the next question is, yung mga faculty members ba dito, are they bridging the two? Kasi pwede namang hindi nila i-bridge yan eh. Turo lang sila ng faith. Turo lang sila ng scholarship. Pero hindi yun yung sinasabi ng vision and mission. Ang sinasabi dito, the two must be bridged. So that's another critical question. Are the faculty members bridging the two? So magandang gawin dito, i-observe sa classroom kung paano magturo ang isang faculty. Binibridge ba niya yung faith and scholarship? Number 3, skill set for the church service. Dine-develop ba yan? Bakit? Bakit napasok ang church service dito? Eh kasi nga, nakalagay kaya pala ginagawa yan to serve the church and the society. Especially the poor and the marginalized. So isa rin yan sa dapat mong i-check. Yung mga faculty ba, dine-develop ba yung mga estudyante for church service? O kung nakita mo, yung mga faculty, marami pala, galit sa church, or hindi nag-church, may problema. Baka hindi fit. Di ba? And number 4, are there opportunities? Are opportunities being given to students to serve the Philippine society? Kasi yan nga nakalagay dyan, society. And I assume, Pilipinas naman siguro to, no? Okay. Hindi naman siguro to Norway. Di ba? Pilipinas yan. So kung yan yung goal, yan yung vision and mission, dapat yung mga faculty nagbibigay ng opportunities sa mga estudyante na magsilbi sa Philippine society. Yan yung titignan ng isang IO psychologist. Ito ba yung profile ng mga faculty members sa eskwelahan na yan? The more the faculty members fit this vision and mission, most likely, mas mataas yung job satisfaction ng mga yan. Alright? So, yun yung 3 ways on how to improve on job satisfaction. So, yan lang yung maikli nating lecture on job satisfaction. If you have any comments, suggestions, or may mga questions kayo, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa comment section. Until the next lecture, Sir Howard here. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.